The Federal Reserve, America's central bank. Some people say it's a branch of government.
The Federal Reserve is an independent agency, and that means basically that there is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take.
Other people say it's a private corporation.
The Federal Reserve is no more federal than Federal Express.
So which is it? Well, both. The Federal Reserve System represents a merging of public and private power. Citizens who want to understand how government and corporate power operate today need to understand the Fed. This short video introduces the structure and operations of the Federal Reserve System. The video has 3 parts. First, it introduces the 12 Federal Reserve banks, with a special emphasis on the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Second, it introduces the Board of Governors, a supervisory board in Washington, D.C. And finally, it introduces the Federal Open Market Committee, the Fed committee charged with conducting U.S. monetary policy. There are 12 Federal Reserve banks in the United States today. Each bank has the authority to create money. That's right, each bank accepts assets from commercial banks in exchange for Federal Reserve notes, money. Take a look at a Federal Reserve note, a dollar bill, and you'll notice that it was issued by a particular Federal Reserve Bank. This one was issued by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, which sits in the 2nd District. Each bank acts as a central bank for the commercial banks in its district. Those commercial banks have accounts and pay their bills using the services of the Federal Reserve banks. The commercial banks are more than customers of the Federal Reserve, though. They're also the owners. That's right. Every nationally chartered commercial bank in the country must own stock in the Federal Reserve Bank of its district. Federal Reserve banks are privately held corporations, and like every corporation, they generate a profit for their owners. Of the 12 Federal Reserve banks, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York is by far the richest and most powerful. More than half of the Fed's assets are held in that one bank alone. And the Federal Reserve Bank of New York also holds gold belonging to central banks and commercial banks and investment banks around the world.